Thank you very much, Darren, and welcome to the Air Canada Centre. And the Lords of the Lace Lounges tonight, Jonathan Bernier, 7-5-1 with a .938 save percentage. And a look at Kevin Poulin, who will get the start and goal. He's 3-5-0 as he fills in for Evgeny Nabokov. Phil Kessel, of course, will be a key component as to the Leafs' offensive prowess, but he has been struggling a little bit. John Tavares, in his last 9 games, 5 goals and 6 assists for 11 points. As we're underway, and we're glad you're along with us here on Sportsnet, as it is launched on a bounce in on Bernier, who had to deflect that into the corner. Puck along the boards, grabbed off by Joffrey Lupul. This is game 2 of a 5-game homestand for the Maple Leafs. Lupul in on the right side, going wide, goes around, sends it in front, they score! Trevor Smith makes it 1-0, 22 seconds into the first period.
Well, the Islanders get control in the Leafs zone, but what they do is they give the puck away trying to go back to the point. And with this great speed now, the Leafs just take off. And Lupul backs up the defense. He just keeps coming to the defense. Back. And Smith just cruises into the slot. Everybody is mesmerized by Lupul. And Lupul just quietly takes the puck through traffic, weaves through. The defense keeps backing up. And then everybody's watching Lupul, and Smith just sneaks into the slot and gets the first goal here early for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Poulin got fooled by the backdoor play too. He was completely off balance and deep in his net. And the Maple Leafs very early in this game grab a 1-0 lead.
Well, Poulin came in last game against the Detroit Red Wings and basically played most of the game as Nabokov got hurt early in the contest. He's a young goalie that has not had a lot of reps in the National Hockey League, so we will see how this affects him, because there's nobody on the bench really that he can rely on in terms of experience either.
Anders Nilsson is the backup goaltender. Poulin, a Montreal native, played with Victoriaville and was selected by the Islanders in the 5th round, 126th overall in the 08 draft. So not a good start for him, are the Islanders. Played around back of the net by Travis Hamonic. Kept in by Jake Gardiner. Hamonic gets it to the line, but not out. Mason Raymond steers it back into the corner. Around back of the net, it comes up on the wing and will be trapped there by the Leafs. It's centered in front. McClement on a knee trying to find it. Here's Cody Franson holding. Back it goes to Gardiner. Gardiner's wrist shot in traffic. Bounces away from Kulemin. Nikolai Kulemin in the corner. Works back to the half boards. Slid it around back of the net. There's McClement with it again. McClement now circles into the corner. Back to the point to Franson. His shot went off a skate and comes into the near corner. Played off the boards to the line, bouncing to the far side. McClement after it again as it's swatted to center ice and then peppered right back into the Islander zone. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Intact Insurance. Your home, your auto, your business. Ask your broker about Intact Insurance Company. Islanders in on the left wing, driving is a chance there that went off a stick and wide of the goal. The puck comes around on the near side to the line, but not out. Kept in with a wrist shot by Donovan that's wide of the goal. Cal Clutterbuck gets it into the corner. Knocked down is Peter Regan. Regan works into the corner. Bouchard cycling as well. Long shot from the blue line goes well wide of the goal. Islanders get it back into the corner, and it is Van Riemsdyk taking it and now launching it up on the wing. And here's Morgan Rielly trying to settle it down. Rielly to Ranger. Ranger gets it to the blue line. Has it go off a leg with speed back in the other way. And a shot is smothered by Bernier.
Ranger with a tough shift. First of all, he let a man go wide that actually let the Islanders hem the Leafs in for a while. Now he's tired, and that's a play. When you're tired at the end of the shift, you can't try to be fancy at your own blue line. Bernier saves the day well out of his crease and makes a good save. Here's Lupul. Look at that one-edge glide. Unbelievable. Right leg glide. Good edges. And then he finds Smith just cruising to the net wide open to give the Leafs the 1-0 lead.
22 seconds into the first period, and no, it is not the fastest Leaf goal to start a game. 7 seconds. Charlie Conacher, February the 6th, 1932. against the Boston Bruins. And no, I was not there. And yes, Mark Askin is looking for the video. Bolton in over the line with a long shot, steered wide of the goal by Bernier. Bolton goes into the corner, loses it there to Gardner, who got it out on the right wing side, and it is cleared back in. On the left wing side for Fraser McLaren, sent down into the Islander zone, and New York will play it back up now out at center. Tavares coming through the neutral zone, across the line, knocked down on the play, and it's offside. Tavares sliding into the corner after getting engaged there by Lupul.
Trevor Smith's been a handy player for the Maple Leafs. Originally thought to be a player for the American Hockey League and add some leadership. And here's his first 2 goals. And then tonight, look at Lupul. One edge, post, and then finds Smith going to the net. And Smith has always had a nose for the net. The knock about him has been, is he a good enough skater to be in the National Hockey League? That's the question. And so far, I think he's answered it here as the Toronto Maple Leafs so far.
Poulin smothers a rolling puck, will hold for a face-off.
Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Leafs.
Face-off controlled by the Islanders, played up on the wing. Opozo breaking, but it comes up to Tavares on the right side. Tavares in and had it knocked off his stick, but the shot by Hamonic went just wide. Leafs are able to get it out at center, but McClement unable to push the attack, and now Kuhlman will regroup it as the Islanders are changing.
Pozo got cut by Phaneuf, and he didn't get the call he wanted.
Down into the zone it goes, a bounce there on the Islander net. Now McClement frees it up for Raymond. Back to the point it goes to Gardner. He steps around on his backhand. Now to the forehand, but gave the puck away with a blind backhand pass. Brought the other way by the Islanders. Flipped in by Colin McDonald, and into the corner it goes. Looking in front of the net for Nielsen. And it comes back into the slot, and a shot right on, and stick saved by Bernier sends the puck up into the screen and out of play, with another face-off coming in the Toronto zone.
And there is the end result of a high stick by Dion Phaneuf that he got away with. As you're going to see Phaneuf and Gunnarsson out a lot against the Tavares line tonight, in fact almost every shift. And there is a look at the high stick that is unprotected. And there's a player that'll tell you it should have been a penalty, for sure.
Laid down into the corner. Bailey trying to wrap it around. Nope, now tried to center. It was blocked by Morgan Riley. The Leafs clear it to the line, but not out. Down into the corner is McDonald. Colin McDonald lost it, but it's chopped to the line by Clarkson, but not out. Now a pass into the slot. Knocked away by Lupul, but kept alive by the Islanders, and a shot goes off Riley and off the boards to the near side. Is pushed out at center ice. Clarkson with Smith trying to catch up. Clarkson looking for Lupul, or for Riley, going to the net with a pass in front. Smith, another crack at it, and that was knocked away by Poulin. Say what you want about the skating of Trevor Smith. He does know where the net is, and he gets there.
And there were many that have questioned whether he'd be an everyday NHL hockey player because they were worried about his skating, but I don't think the Leafs have been too worried so far. He's been great.
Morgan Riley with a nice rush as well to get into the play, and now his speed ahead as Holland gets it in for Kessel. Kessel into the slot on the right wing side, and fanning on the shot there was Gardner. Gardner trying to fend it away from Peter Regan. Gardner works the board, still has it, cycles it in around back of the net, courtesy Van Riemsdyk. And now Aaron Ness gets it up on the wing. A rink-wide pass for Matt Kartner, and Kartner will play it out at center past Clutterbuck. Van Riemsdyk got tangled up with Kartner and has to retrieve his stick deep in the Islander zone. Now it's tipped down into the zone, and the Leafs are changing on the go as we approach the 6-minute mark of the first period, and it is 1-0 Toronto. Ranger around on the boards for Orr. Orr unable to slash it out. It goes high in the air back of the goal. Getting to it there is Ranger, played up on the wing, and comes to the line. Travis Hamonic got away from McLaren. His shot is in front of the goal. Shot stopped in front of the goal. Ranger's stick is broken, and he'll get another one from The forward as it's played down into the Islander zone. I think the stick may have made the save. Break line from Matt Martin up on the left wing side, and a shot is going ramping up off the stick of Carl Gunnarsson and into the screen. A quick goal from Smith from Lupul, 22 seconds in.
Well, Morgan Riley, who has not played for a couple of games, has certainly had a great start to this game. Watch this play here where he's going to block the shot, find the puck, advance it in a hurry. Now check out the bottom of your screen, because in about a second here, you're going to see him. Here he comes, join the attack, and make a beautiful little backhand pass over to Smith, who almost connects. And then this shift a little bit too long. He got hung out with Ranger. Ranger gave the puck away, and that's why. But an active stick by Riley here, and a good defensive play on the same shift.
Shot into the chest of Bernier is held. That's just the Leafs' 14th first period goal. It's the 5th fewest in the National Hockey League, but they lead 1-0.
This period brought to you by the redesigned 2014 Toyota Tundra. Tough enough for any project.
Draw scrummed. Gunnarsson knocked down on the play, able to get back on his skates and force it out into the center ice area. Now here's Opozo bringing it back in with Tavares. Played around back of the net. Phaneuf got to it. It comes to the side of the goal, and it's pushed ahead on the right wing side, and Lupul gets it out. Clarkson one hands it in over the line. David Clarkson goes rampaging into the corner, knocked down on the play, up into the corner, and now Phaneuf plays it back to the net. Clarkson trying to come out with it, spins and shoots and hit the side of the goal, and it caroms off the backboards and is smothered by Kevin Poulin. Tonight's keys to the game are brought to you by Tim Hortons, Canada's favorite coffee.
Well, for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they're not a big team on the blue line, so you got to be aggressive on the forecheck, and the Leafs have done a nice job of that. The power play goes without saying for Toronto. As for the New York Islanders, a bit of an obvious point, but John Tavares, without Vanek in the lineup, they need him to put points on the board or they don't win many games.
Face off to the left of Kevin Poulin, and now McClement, who's won 5 of 7 face-offs, or 3 of 4 face-offs rather, in the early going, got waved out of that one, and the Islanders controlled the draw. Brought out at center ice by Andrew MacDonald. He'll play it around the boards to the near side. McClement pumps it back behind the net. Branson pushing it along. Referee got in the way there of Mason Raymond as it goes down into the corner. Bailey let it go. Leafs come away with it. McClement and Gardner battle for it along the boards, and so does Cody Franson as he pins his man. McClement back onto the puck, and Raymond is able to find some skating room and just get it out at center ice. McDonald got it ahead, and on the left wing side, Josh Bailey. Bailey into the corner for Colin McDonald. It comes free to Gardner. Gardner banking it back for Franson. Franson got it ahead, and here's Kuhlman working through center. Kuhlman in over the line, dropping it back for Mason Raymond. He closes in, goes to the backhand, and he couldn't deliver it. He had Poulin pretty much at his mercy, but could not get the backhand away. Sent down the ice, and there'll be an icing charge as Morgan Riley's quickness was able to get there.
Remember this, Joe? It's supposed to be his first NHL game.
Yep.
Kevin Poulin here had a little mishap in warm-up in the island against the Maple Leafs.
Right there.
And we couldn't figure it out for the longest time what happened to him. But he ended up twisting his leg and was out for quite some time afterwards. So now he plays tonight in Toronto, and the first shot goes in on him. He wants to see the blue and white or not. We'll find out.
It hasn't been very fortunate for him. Here's Kessel with a shot that was blocked in front of the net. Peter Holland working the boards. Has it bounce in front now for Van Riemsdyk. He tried to lift it over the shoulder of Poulin. And the goaltender was able to cover up and hold on. Van Riemsdyk taking the puck hard to the net after Hammond had made the play.
Well, the advantage of him being on the boards and ending up with plays like this going to the net off the faceoff.
I think I said Hammond, but it's Holland, of course. Had an interesting chat with Peter after the game the other night, and he said, yes, I met you when I was in grade 6. Apparently, I had come out to Bolton to do a little chat with his school, and he remembered it fondly. I said, I hope I stressed academics to you guys. He said, yes, you did. Peter Holland with his first game in Leaf uniform and played pretty well the other night against the Buffalo Sabres. And mention that phone call. Yes, you've been traded, and oh, by the way, you're going to center Van Riemsdyk and Kessel. He had to make a little bit of a roundabout trip to get here, but he had to be enjoying it. Here's a loose puck in front of the Toronto goal, and Ranger is able to take it and get it up on the wing. It won't clear as Matt Martin is there to send it high into the corner. Cizik is trying to play it into the slot, and it goes back to the net. Bolton couldn't reach it, and now Ranger gets it ahead, and he takes a hefty hit there from Matt Martin. And an offside at the Toronto blue line.
Get an oil change by December 15th and get a free gift. Michelin Hybrid Wiper Blades. Get your coupon at MrLube.com.
Well, guys, planes, trains, and automobiles here for Peter Holland as of Thursday on to Sunday. He was down to Tampa, back up to Providence, Manchester, into Toronto. Finally got to the rink here Saturday at about 2 hours prior to game time. Had 4.5 hours sleep that whole time. It was busy but exciting, and he is rested and hoping to play better than he did Saturday, although he played very well Saturday, I thought.
Yeah, I did too. Penny did a nice job in the face-off circle. And I'm sure he had to be a little nervous. A little centering pass there by Brock Nelson didn't work. It's back to the goal. Sent by Oposo on the wing. It comes right in front of the goal. What a great pad save that was by Bernier. They battle along the boards. It comes back into the corner for Lupo, and now here's Phaneuf getting it free, and without a stick, Clarkson trying to get it out, took his man, but the puck goes free. Clarkson gets a stick at the bench, it comes back to the point. Here's a chance for Donovan, and he fired off a leg wide. Nelson to the far side on a shot wide of the Toronto goal. Oposo goes into the corner after it. Shots are 7-6 Islanders at this point. Clarkson barges into where his old stick was, and it's around back of the net for Phaneuf. Phaneuf to Lupo, and quickly ahead it goes to Smith. Smith chipping it ahead, took a bump there from Matt Donovan, and the Leafs will change. Islanders back in their own zone. Hickey to the near side, sent ahead by Donovan. Leafs intercept and send it back, and here's Raymond jumping in on the right side. Puts the brakes on, but lost his edge. And the puck goes free for Frans Nielsen, who got it on the boards there for Bailey. He can't make a play. Swept around the boards by Matt Carkner. Gardner tied up his man sufficiently that McDonald couldn't do much with it. It's back out at center ice. Nielsen over on the near side for Carkner. Carkner got it up on the wing, but it hasn't cleared. Kept alive and pumped around the boards by Kuhlman. On the near side, pushed on the far side, rather pushed ahead there by Nielsen. In across the line for Colin McDonald. He centers, and the back checking of Raymond stood him in good stead. He was the lone man in front of the net to clear it away. Islanders will go back into their own zone with 8:13 to play in the period. 1-0 Toronto. A goal from Trevor Smith from Lupo 22 seconds into the game. Down the boards now for Holland. Going to play it around back of the net. Kessel unable to knock it away, but it's brought out on the right wing side now, and Clutterbuck will get it down into the Toronto end. Ball Ranger taken to the boards. Clutterbuck trying to free it up. Riley comes away with it, gets it off on the wing, and Kessel will start away. Kessel had it roll off his stick as he made a move around one player. Quickly played ahead for Van Riemsdyk to Holland. Holland dumps it in, and he'll go to the bench.
So the Leafs are getting a little untidy in the neutral zone, and that's why the last 5 minutes or so they've spent a good deal amount of time in their own zone due to the giveaways and not getting through the neutral zone cleanly.
Round back to the net now for Gardner. He got it ahead, and it is driven in by Smithson. The Blue Bombers are into pursuit here as Fraser McLaren knocked it into the corner. It's played up onto the left wing side, and Bolton gets it out at center. He was knocked over by Colton Orr. Bernier back of the goal into the corner for Gardner. Bank pass there. A couple of Islanders took a healthy run at Gardner and missed. Out into the center ice area. And now here is Fraser McLaren and Matt Martin having a word or two as the Islanders break in. And a save made by Bernier. And McLaren and Martin discussing rules of etiquette here in the center ice area. Nothing more develops.
There's been one staple for the New York Islanders when they've been winning games, and they've been real strong down the middle, particularly those cup teams. Of course, Brian Trottier, what a player he was for the New York Islanders. And then when they acquired Butch Goring on that trade deadline deal, that almost put them over the top. He's in the building tonight. And then now they got a pretty good player in John Tavares. And they all wear the number, 1 or 9, that combination, down the middle.
And I would imagine you must have helped a great deal getting Brian Trottier into the Hall of Fame.
He drove him there.
Another player that hated it when I retired.
He drove him there. He was pretty nervous the first time he'd ever driven anything that big.
It wasn't a tractor.
No, it wasn't. And Butch Goring, there he is, doing broadcasting with the New York Islanders. Now, Butch is a nickname. You know his real name? I'm never going to think about that. Robert, right up on the boards to center. And across the line. Islanders flip it ahead, and Kuhlman goes back to retrieve it. Off the boards, played by Phaneuf, back of the goal. A chance in front for Tavares, couldn't get it to the forehand. Tried to come out with it. A shot from the blue line by Nelson is blocked. And here is Raymond just flipping it down into the Islander zone.
Well, it's kind of great every time you go to Winnipeg, Joe. Mr. Goring is in the press box. Butch's dad. Well into his 90s, and he never misses a game in Winnipeg. It's always great to see him.
Robert Thomas Butch Goring.
There you go.
Out at center for Clarkson. One hands it to the line and in. Smith goes into after it, trying to get it away from Andrew McDonald, and they do. Here's Lupul back to the blue line. Franson over for Gardner. He just wrists it towards the net, but it didn't reach it. Clarkson around back of the net. Poulin playing around back of the goal. Played around back now for David Clarkson. Clarkson curling out, still with it, banking it into the corner. Smith has it roll off his stick, and out come the Islanders as Colin McDonald gets it down into the Toronto zone. McDonald chipping it into the corner. Josh Bailey lost it back of the goal, brought out by Toronto now, but a pass is intercepted in a shot, and that was ripped off the pad of Bernier wide of the goal. Franson has it go off the stick of Lupul to center, and it's cleared back into the Toronto end. Gardner makes a little fake, then finds his partner on the far side in Morgan Riley, and now it's brought in over the line by Holland, who drops for Van Riemsdyk. Kessel going through the slot, couldn't redirect. Kept alive at the blue line then by Paul Ranger. Back of the goal is Kessel. Kessel comes to the half board, still with it, back to Ranger. Pass in for Holland, didn't work. And out come the Islanders now with 4:17 to play in the period. Matt Cartner, a long shot into the chest of Bernier. Cartner arrives on the scene to see if anything's brewing in there.
Well, the two youngsters, Riley and Gardner, do a real nice job here in the breakout. And how to spread out your defense here and then turn it into offense. Look at this, D-to-D, nice wide D-to-D pass, and a perfect pass up and advance the puck from Morgan Riley, and the Leafs enter the zone with ease. It's those first two passes that have been a bit of an issue in this period in the latter half, and that time that's exactly what the coach likes to see. A good clean breakout, good snap passes, and Riley has already played 5 minutes and 3 seconds so far this period.
Yeah, the two of them share a condominium. Matt Pratt moved out to Los Angeles. Morgan came in and took his spot and helped pay the rent with Jake.
I would imagine they order out for food a lot. Can't imagine those two being gourmet cooks just yet.
The Leafs had cooking class in the summer.
Oh, yeah, no, that's and it's a great
which is
idea.
a great idea for all the young players. Terrific idea.
Yeah.
Had a good time with it.
You know how long it took me to figure out craft dinner? Long shot going off stick and way up into the crowd. I figured it out though, didn't I?
If you drive on snow and ice, you don't want all-season tires. You want all-weather tires. Get Nokian's most advanced all-weather tire, the WRG3 at Cal Tire.
Jack Capuano is a former Leaf. And well, it's a younger Jack Capuano right there.
Same hairdo.
Yeah, 89-90. Well, no, let's hope not. Well, it's the same color. It's the same color. Just more I can say for myself. Here's a chance now for Oposo going wide. Forced into the corner by Carl Gunnarsson. Clement up on the wing, and Raymond just gets rid of it to center ice. Thomas Hickey plays it back to the Toronto blue line. Dion Phaneuf returns the favor. Kuhlman gets it in a little deeper, and Hickey turns with it again and gets it up on the left wing side. Brought to the line and in on the wing. Nelson sends it into the corner, but it is turned over, and now Kuhlman finds Jay McClement. McClement dishes it off on the left wing side for Raymond, and a shot juggled at first, but held. And there'll be a face-off coming in the Islander zone to the right.
It's the 7th shot on Poulin after he let in the first shot of the game. No net drive here as the Leafs dish it off, but everybody's late arriving going to the net. McClement, once you dish it off, somebody's got to go right to the middle of the net. And that's a routine save for goaltenders at this level.
So the face-off to the right of Poulin. And it is dropped there. The linesmen tonight are Brad Kovacic and Don Henderson. Referees Wes McCauley of Georgetown and Mike Hasenfratz of Regina. Laid down into the Toronto zone. Bernier leaving it there. Branson on the left wing side for Smith. He dives to get it out. Lupo will get it in deep for him. And he's down into the corner. Gardner given a bit of a bump there. Hamonic plays it around the boards. Then a shot by Franson went just wide. McDonald gets the puck out. Bailey sends it back. Bit of a wobble there from Travis Hamonic as he kind of got turned around. And wow, puck out hit the linesman, and feeling that is Mr. Henderson from Calgary.
More mad than anything else.
Probably. Morgan Riley got turned around. Here are the Islanders back in. Gardner forces the puck back to the goal. Bernier was knocked down in the crease. He's back up as it's sent by Peter Regan around into the far corner. Aaron Ness hits it back to the blue line. The shot coming from Regan. And very coolly, Bernier searches between the feet of Riley to smother the puck.
This period brought to you by the redesigned 2014 Toyota Tundra. Tough enough for any project.
They showed you a real nice play from Morgan Riley. Now he's getting some instruction. Sometimes a young player, when he sits out a couple, he wants to show that he deserves to stay in, and then he tries to do a little bit too much. We've seen that at times in this period from the youngster, although Rangers had a bit of a tough period as well. The two of them have struggled at times in this first period.
Far side for Hamonic, 1-0 Toronto. The goal coming 22 seconds into this contest. Lupo ties up his man, and Gunnarsson gets the loose puck. He'll get it high in the air, but Hamonic volleyballs it back in, and this is some exciting news here. This, because if the Islander touches it, it's a whistle. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Lupo was all the way down, almost in the Islander zone, hoping that maybe if someone grabbed it, they could make it quick up to him, but it didn't materialize.
Leaf goaltending obviously has been outstanding. The numbers, the save percentage, circle those. The other thing that's not talked about a lot, though, are the quality chances against them. And the Leafs defensively have been okay once they're in their own zone in terms of their coverage and second looks the goalies are seeing. They're seeing a lot of pucks as their defense in their own zone has been okay. They've been okay. Probably better than most are giving them credit for.
Well, the modus operandi has been give up 30 shots, score a couple of goals on the power play, let the goaltender win the game, and move on. 25 points at the quarter pole.
I'm not underestimating how great the goaltenders have been, but the chances to score versus shots are the interesting stat.
Speaking of 30 shots against, the Leafs have only outshot the opposition in 2 games, and they lost the game the last time they did that in Buffalo the other night.
If you're up in the 20s at quality chances to score, it's too many. If you're in the teens or right around the 10 to 12 mark, you're playing strong defensively. The Leafs have been in both areas, believe me, in the first quarter.
Franson up the middle for Smith. He has the goal, works through center, protecting the puck well, and now launches it in. Lupul goes into the forecheck. In comes Clarkson as well to get a piece of his man, but quickly coming away with it is Nielsen in on the wing. Broken up there by Phaneuf. Gunnarsson gets to his man. Raymond sifts down into the slot to protect the slot as it comes back to the blue line. McDonald walks the line. Right wing shot is a weak one, and Phaneuf turns with 20 seconds left to go in the period now. Dion Phaneuf turning with a bank pass ahead that is chipped down into the Islander zone. Poulin couldn't control it. It's played around back of the net. Now here's Raymond trying to center. He did, but it is grabbed off by Kevin Poulin, and there'll be a face-off coming in the circle to his right.
And if you've just joined us, and if you caught the start late, you would have missed this. The first goal of the hockey game from the net cam is Poulin got tied up a little bit on a nice little play from Lupul as he found Smith in the slot to give the Leafs the early 1-0 lead. And that's where we stand with 6.2 seconds to go in the first.
Holland won the draw. Morgan Riley banks it around back of the net, but with just 2 seconds left. Here's Kessel. Whoa, that might have been a buzzer beater. It was tight, but the save made by the Islander netminder as Holland won another faceoff. 1-0 Toronto at the end of one. Let's go to Darren in the panel. Welcome back to the Air Canada Centre, where the Toronto Maple Leafs have a 1-0 lead over the New York Islanders. And tonight's first period summary brought to you by Future Shop. For the season's hottest gadgets and at the best price guaranteed, head to futureshop.ca. Season's gadgets from Future Shop. Smith from Lupul. 22 seconds into this one. Hardly had time for Scott Morrison and Damien Cox to get settled downstairs. Guys?
Thanks, Joe. Well, Randy Carlyle's talked a lot about the need for speed entering the offensive zone, whether it's creating scoring chances or establishing the forecheck. They've worked a lot on it in practice, and we saw it 22 seconds into the game on the Joffrey Lupul goal as he takes over the puck inside his blue line and uses his great speed to get up ice, to get around the defenseman Hickey, and to make a wonderful setup to Trevor Smith, who's really proven to be a very useful player after being called up again.
And there's time for speed, but in a game like tonight, which has seemed kind of scrambly at times, a lot of strange things happen, there's also a need for patience and calm. And doesn't Jonathan Bernier give that to the Leafs pretty much every time? It's a little simple play with his stick. Looks like there's a bit of trouble. I think I'll just hold this one here. I'm not going to let things get out of control. Here's another one. I think I'll just hold this here. Calm, poise, calming things down on a night when things get kind of crazy. Bernier's always there to calm things down.
Joe?
Thank you very much, guys. Well, earlier today, some big news as we welcome Dave Andrews from the American Hockey League, the president of the American Hockey League. And today, news that Färjestad, the very famous Swedish club team, will be playing in North America, finishing their tour here in Toronto, Dave, against the Toronto Marlies.
Yes, we're taking advantage of the international Olympic break with the NHL closing down and also the Swedish League closing down to, for the first time, bring a Swedish Elite League team over to North America. They're going to play our All-Stars on February 11th, 12th in St. John's, Newfoundland, and then coming in here to Toronto to play the Marlies.
The negotiation for something like this is the first time that a Swedish club team has ever ventured into North America.
It is, and it was a lengthy period of time to bring it together, but to be fair, it was not as difficult a negotiation as you might think. They're very excited to be coming to North America, and the Swedish Elite League against the AHL, it's the two top leagues outside of the NHL in the world.
Now, Dave, there's an awful lot of American Hockey League players out here. One of them just scored a goal.
And he scored on an American League goalie, so not sure whether to be pleased or not, but I think every player in this game tonight, except for John Tavares and Dion Phaneuf, have played in the American Hockey League at some point over the last number of years.
The Leafs with a 1-0 lead as McClement tries to work it out of the corner. He'll cycle it in along the boards. Kuhlman trying to get there, but Hickey was able to knock it up onto the right wing side, and out come the Islanders as they'll dump it in with Nelson sending it back to the goal. Tavares twisting and turning, centers in front of the net. Loose puck shot, Bernier down, and he is going to smother that and hold on. Mr. Millen, you played a little bit in the American Hockey League. No, you didn't.
I was one of those players that played a couple of games in the International Hockey League, and then at the very end, I ended up in Portland, Maine, for a very short period of time, and then went back up to the National Hockey League again. And I didn't have a very good time in the American Hockey League. I wasn't very good down there. I can tell you that at the end of my career.
If you'd been good, you would have stayed longer.
They had to get me out of there.
No. It
Get
is
that guy back up top. You can't stop anything.
onto the right wing side. David Clarkson close again, and it goes off a stick and ramps up into the screen. David, the developmental league, and that's what the American Hockey League is. And I am a firm believer. You have to earn a National Hockey League jersey, and what better way to do it than to do it down at the American Hockey League level?
Well, for sure, ever since the 04-05 season, every NHL team sees the importance of the American League, and every team has to have a full American League affiliate in the AHL, and it's been working, obviously working well. Virtually every team has 13 or 14 players a year come up and play for their NHL clubs. So it's working well for both leagues, and for our fans, obviously, we get great players.
And tickets are on sale for the Marlies and Färjestad on the 15th of February, which should be an exciting time. That has been a tremendous team in Europe as far as sending players to the National Hockey League.
Yes, they have, and we're really looking forward to the challenge of playing them.
And the Maple Leafs have had a pretty good run of luck as far as Swedish players are concerned as well. One of them is one of my all-time favorites, and that's Boris Almond.
And Matt Sundin as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. Here's a chance now for Franson with a backhand as he'll send it around back of the net. Clarkson trying to extricate himself there from Travis Hamonic. Clarkson along the boards for Lupul. Lupul out of the corner, gets it. Nice move over here for Gardner. What a pretty little bit of stick handling that was from Joffrey Lupul. Lupul along the boards but can't get it back to the blue line, and Bailey will get it out at center ice. Hamonic launches it down in on the left wing. Josh Bailey getting to the puck and into the corner. Around back to the net it goes, and now Smith will try to move it up along the wall, and you'll get a little bit of help here from Jake Gardner, who runs into traffic, and Peter Regan. Along the boards and back of the net for Bailey. Bailey back to the point. It goes to Donovan. His play goes down in back of the net. Smith tied up his man. It's chopped at, but not cleared. Clutterbuck with a shot. That deflects wide of the Toronto goal, but some good cycling being done here by the Islanders. Hickey to the far side, fanning on the shot. Over there was Donovan. He'll get another crack at it back at the blue line. Donovan twisting and turning to get away from Van Riemsdyk. Franson pushes it into an empty corner. Smith can't help out. Gardner in tough back of the net. Centered in front of shot. Down is Bernier, and he's able to knock it away, and then being knocked down by his own defenseman Gardner. Bernier's got to straighten that mask out. Leafs still can't get the puck out. Shot by Bouchard, and now Bernier says enough is enough.
Yeah, and his rebound control is what deadens plays when this team is in trouble. And once again, Bernier here finds a way to find this puck through traffic, and he doesn't get the rebound this time, but a tremendous second effort with his right pad, and gets run over. And then shortly thereafter this save, he just quietens everything down by controlling his rebound. Just looking at all the players before you say goodbye out this ice tonight, and there's not very many on this game tonight that didn't play at some point in the American Hockey League.
Just two.
Just two.
Yep.
There you go.
Exactly. Dave, we want to thank you for joining us. Looking forward to Färjestad being here. I know you kind of business ended the personal end. How's the grandkids doing?
All the grandkids are doing great, thanks.
Good. Well, you got a shout out to them right now. Good luck.
Allie and Evan, there's the shout out right here in Toronto.
Right.
Thanks, Joe.
Dave, thanks very much. Dave Andrews, the president of the American Hockey League in Färjestad here, 1932. Here's some of the Swedish connection that the Maple Leafs have had over the years. And, of course, Carl Gunnarsson, the latest. And Boris Salming, Matt Sundin.
Yeah, and coming up in the pipe as well, Petter Granberg and Tom Nilsson.
Granberg's been real good for the Toronto Marlies this year.
Yep.
He's a real prospect.
Back of the net now for Fraser McLaren. Bank pass back to the blue line, and Ranger couldn't keep it in. Riley goes back into his own zone and banks it ahead. McLaren tipped it in over the line. Quickly brought back, but a good poke check by Ranger. Dislodged it there from Eric Bolton. Played down into the Toronto zone. Bernier gives it off. Riley sends it off to Ranger, who gets it ahead to Orr. Orr just dumps in and goes into the corner against Andrew McDonald. The puck comes around on the far side. Van Riemsdyk arriving on the scene. Down low, and a shot went off an ankle wide of the net. As unable to get it through is Peter Holland. Now here's a chance for Kessel off the bench. Kessel into the corner. Still has it on that stick. Gets it back to the point. Carl Gunnarsson, wrist shot through, and it's blocked in front of the net. Knocked down by McDonald. Andrew McDonald to the line, and it's offside at the Toronto blue line. And there'll be a face-off in neutral ice.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
There's the young man we were talking about in our pregame.
Look at the ice time, third in the National Hockey League this year, as he's being heavily relied upon. As the Islanders a little weak on the blue line in terms of depth. What a shot blocker this kid is also.
Over 200 over the last 2 years. He leads the team in ice packs. Oh, a hit there as Tavares got cold caught by the linesman. And he is slow to get to the bench. John Tavares was guided right into the linesman by Kuhlman. And a chance now as Kuhlman was able to knock it into the corner. But John Tavares is a little woozy over there on the Islander bench. And that was John Henderson, the linesman, who took the brunt of that. And he stood the test. And it was Tavares who ended up going down. Kuhlman and Tavares and the linesman.
Tavares seems to be okay, but oh man, his face went right into the dasher board and then into the referee. And as Kuhlman just hunts him down, throws his shoulder into him, a good clean check. Oof.
And
again, he's
Tavares
favoring his neck. There he is on the bench. Seems to be okay.
His uncle would say that's nothing. His uncle, of course, one of the great lacrosse players of all time in the National Lacrosse League. John named after John Tavares, a lacrosse player. Shot by Riley, comes in front of the goal and it was off a leg and went just wide. Matt Donovan had the Leaf player tied up. Here's a chance for Frans Nielsen driving in with a drop pass. And the back checking of Riley was able to knock it away. Lupul coming through the neutral zone. Lupul in over the line, still with it. Back into the slot, off a stick and brought out at center ice now, and a race forward and over the line. Here's Frans Nielsen into the slot. Bailey a shot, right on, stopped and smothered by Bernier. That was his toughest save right there, as that turned into a 2-on-1 fairly quickly.
And again, Bernier tonight just makes tough saves, looks so easy with strong positional play. Riley here reads the play. He's right on the first back checker as Ranger takes his man, but it's the third player, Bailey, who finds some room, and then the puck is rolling. And again, Bernier in great position to make the save, and it almost squeaks by him.
Islanders have 5 shots this period. The Leafs 1. Leafs are 4-0 when leading after the first period, but the goal was just the 14th they've scored in the first period. Clutterbuck sent it over top of the crossbar. Played out at center and rattled by Travis Hamonic back into the Toronto zone.
Got to hit the net there. I mean, Clutterbuck right in the slot in perfect position and does not create a chance to score for himself.
Now the Leafs back in over the line. Peter Holland goes wide, comes in a goal. They bang away at it. It's still free. And it's shot out and down the ice as Holland made a nifty little move to get around the defenseman and take it to the net, as there's an icing charge here against New York.
BMO Raptors basketball on Sportsnet. It's the Toronto Raptors, of course, in Philadelphia tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Sportsnet 1.
Face-off coming to the right of Kevin Poulin. 13:45 to go here in period number 2, and the goal came early, and there hasn't been anything often since then. Holland lost the draw this time. McDonald launches it high to center. Van Riemsdyk one-hands it to the line. Holland dishes it off to Gardner. He led all Leafs in ice time in the first period with 9 minutes and 19 seconds. And a whistling shot goes off Pierre-Marc Bouchard and lands in the mesh. The Leafs hanging on to a 1-0 lead.
Well, it's a big day for Matt Finn, second-round draft pick of the Maple Leafs in 2012. He, of course, plays for the Guelph Storm and one of their major players, and this was in at Leaf rookie camp this past year in London, and as well an opportunity to play a little bit here with the Maple Leafs. He's here with his agent, Don Meehan, watching the game here tonight, sporting the Movember mustache. He and his best friend, Carter Brown, another Leaf prospect in Erie, having tremendous seasons, as is Carter Verhaeghe. So 3 players from the Ontario Hockey League doing well as far as the Leafs are concerned. One of them here today just having signed his entry-level deal.
I watched him play at 11 o'clock this morning as Guelph trounced Mississauga in the afternoon or morning game for the school kids. As Guelph put on quite a clinic. Boy, they got some nice players. And Finn was excellent.
Pass up onto the left wing side, too far for Jared Smithson. And it's back behind the net. Tyler Bozak skating with the team, and hopefully will be back in the not too distant future. This is the final game of the suspension for Kadri. Out in front of the net, a shot off the goal post. It rolls in front of the net, and it's played up on the wing and out to the line and out. Carl Gunnarsson may have saved a goal right there. And there will be a face-off in the center ice area.
A 2-on-1 break. Gunnarsson gets caught, and he comes back though right behind, and you're right, Joe. There's a great first save by Bernier, and then Gunnarsson, who was caught initially in the 2-on-1, comes back, and that rattles right off the post. Right off the post, and then there, the Leafs come back into the play and save a goal as it looked like it was going in.
Mark. Sorry, Greg.
I was just going to say, keep an eye on this kid, Brock McGinn, the youngest brother. He's got a couple of brothers playing in the National League. This kid plays for Guelph. He is the real deal, and he will be in the National Hockey League shortly, owned by Carolina.
Bouncing puck goes into the near corner. Opozo after it.
Was he good today, Joe?
Yep.
Oh, did he skate?
John Tavares back into the game after that collision with Kuhlman and the official. The drop pass now. Here is Kartner getting it on the wing, and a weak shot comes to the side of the goal, and then it sprang in front. And Mason Raymond has it now, playing it off the boards to center as Opozo went for a slide. Brought back the other way now by Aaron Ness. Drop pass for Tavares, off the stick. Leafs are able to come away with it. Jay McClement skates it out. McClement with Raymond. Now Clarkson off on the wing for Phaneuf, and he couldn't get a shot away. Brock Nelson playing it up on the wing. Picked off there by McClement. Now McClement back into the corner, centered in front, and Clarkson was there but couldn't get his stick on it. Tavares to center, and he'll shoot it down into the Toronto zone. Brought up by Gardner at the flex, but not into the zone. Falling on the play there was Smithson, or at least Smith, into the corner, centering pass, hits the side of the goal, and Smith plays it around on the boards. Lupul won't get there in time as it's Matt Donovan keeping the puck in for the Islanders. Franson tied up his man, lost his stick for a moment. Puck still in the Toronto zone. Franson decides to take the man, and it's a good decision as it's played by the Leafs off a body down into Islander territory, and changes coming for both teams. 1-0 Toronto on a goal by Trevor Smith, his third. Franson back to the goal. Bowls over his man to allow Van Riemsdyk to the loose puck, and here's Van Riemsdyk coming to center. Across the line and into the left wing corner. Hamonic after it. Van Riemsdyk centers! And it went right through the goal crease. Kept alive by Paul Ranger. Back of the net, centered in front of the net. A shot right on! And not getting good wood on it because his stick shattered was Kessel. Leafs back in with Van Riemsdyk. Tripped up and a penalty. Will come here to the Islanders, and then Clutterbuck knocks over his man again. The Leafs to the power play when we return.
Leafs go on the power play, but it's really because of the work of James Van Riemsdyk on his last shift. I mean, he starts it off in his own end and gains possession of the New York zone by just sheer speed and power. Then he hunts down the puck as they turn it over again, and look who has it. Van Riemsdyk takes the puck behind the net. Then he gets tripped up by McDonald, and the Leafs on the power play. Two terrific rushes by Van Riemsdyk using his speed and strength, and that caused the penalty in the end.
Well, this will be an interesting matchup. The Leafs are third in the National Hockey League in power play proficiency. The Islanders are dead last in penalty killing. Lupul in front, but coming off the point, couldn't get it on his stick cleanly. Kessel back at the blue line to Phaneuf. Phaneuf at the half boards, now centers. It comes off the leg back to the blue line to Cody Franson. Franson pumps it around back of the net. Lupul let it go to Kessel. Kessel at the half boards. Lupul in front. Van Riemsdyk stationed right in front of the goaltender. Kessel trying to step in. Kessel works it back to the point. Phaneuf with a one-timer, and that's blocked by Colin McDonald. Phaneuf with it again and a shot, and he missed the net, and Kessel couldn't get a stick on it to slow it up, and it's gone all the way down into the Toronto zone. Franson for Phaneuf. Drop for Kessel. With speed to the line and in. Drops it off for Lupul. Lupul working into the slot. Had it knocked off his stick. Hamonic gets a hold of it and gets it out. Lupul with it again. He'll press the attack once more to Kessel. Kessel turns to get away from Peter Regan. Now steps in with a shot. Goes! That patented wrist shot, and Phil Kessel makes it 2-0.
Well, the Islanders' best defenseman, McDonald, in the penalty box, and it really showed as the Leafs were able to get into the New York Islanders zone with ease, not once, but a couple of times on this power play. And here's another example. Neutral zone turnover, and the Leafs just back in with ease. And the Islanders do. Look at them back. They back right up on their own goalie. Kessel finds the lane, and when you give him that much time and space, and this big-time release, boom, right off the post and in. 2-0 Leafs.
Ends a 4-game drought. His 11th goal of the season. His 4th on the power play.
But the Islanders get all mixed up, don't sort themselves out when Kessel comes back and does a little button hook into the off the right boards, and then he just walks right in and wires it.
Well, all of tonight's power plays are brought to you by Fido, taking care of you with savings and more. That's the Fido advantage. And all of the Leaf power plays brought to you by the folks at Fido, as it is a 2-0 Toronto advantage on the power play goal from Kessel. Lupul and Phaneuf with the assists. A pass back up the middle. Phaneuf got a piece of his man to knock down Oposo. And it's into the zone and played by Kuhlman to center ice. Joffrey Lupul with a 2-point night. Here's Ranger getting to the red line and launching it high into the near corner. Hickey lays it off in front of his own goal. Brought out now by Matt Donovan and shot in. No icing. Ranger turns. He's got Clarkson, and Clarkson missed the pass. And it's going to be icing the other way as it'll come all the way back into the Toronto zone.
The Subway Super Series is back. The Quebec League got 1-0 as a result of a 3-2 win last night. We'll take on Russia yet again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Sportsnet East, Ontario, and Pacific. And they'll set up the game before and strip it down after. Leafs Nation pregame and postgame with Gord Stellick and Rick Natus only on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Face off to the right of Jonathan Bernier, and the draw won so cleanly it goes right between the defense tandem of Kartner and Ness. Could get somebody named Capone to be on this team, then you could have Ness and Capone.
Get Elliott in St. Louis.
Well, that's true. I hadn't thought about that. Here's Riley getting it up on the wing. Clarkson couldn't push it by. Long shooting goes over top of Bernier. And now here's Ranger. Up ahead for Clarkson, but it comes back into the slot, picked off by Morgan Riley, who shows you a quick stick there and some quick feet. He's across the line, sending it in around back in the net. Clarkson unable to get to it, and it's out into the center ice area for Bailey. Diligent back checking by Smith knocked it away, and Lupul starts back the other way. Lupul to the line, following up on the play is Smith to Lupul. Lupul into the slot, Cody Franson, and he shot it just wide of the far pole. Ness gets it out at center. Kessel gets it on to Van Riemsdyk. Looking for a man in front, and he found him, and the tip for Holland was right into the chest of Poulin. And Peter Holland going hard to the net here.
He's got some great skill and nose for the net, and here he just, what a pass again by Van Riemsdyk. Saucers it through, Holland redirects, and Poulin has been pretty good in this game, really, for the most part. Here Nick Kiprios talk about the first goal and the goaltender. I agree with him. He was out of position. That Kessel shot, man, I don't think many goalies can stop that baby. That was a perfect shot off the far post and in.
Lupul's 2 points tonight, the 4th multi-point game this season for the Leaf winger, who now has 14 points on the season with 8 goals and 6 assists. Here's Holland with a shot off a stick, and it's managed to find the screen. And there'll be a face-off coming in the Islander zone.
When you look at Holland's resume, a high draft pick by the Anaheim Ducks, and he scored at the American Hockey League level. And the interesting part that Randy Carlyle said when he talked about Holland, and there's Dave Nonis, the general manager of the Leafs, of course, who traded for him, is in fact he said he's learned how to play the NHL style. He's got a lot more jam to his game than he did in junior.
A winner as well, Greg, at the Quebec Pee Wee International Hockey Tournament when he was 9 years ago, so that was a big thrill. We had a chance to talk to him about that today.
15th pick overall in the same draft as Nazem Kadri was taken by the Maple Leafs. Comes in front of the goal, but it bounces over the stick of Van Riemsdyk, and out at center ice comes Clutterbuck. Clutterbuck had it knocked off his stick by the back checking of Van Riemsdyk. Clutterbuck goes into the corner after it now, trying to work down along the blue line. Backhanded it in along the near side. Pass in front of the net there by Hamonic. And Ranger may have taken that in the face, and it's gone right. Where is he? Yeah, he's down here in the corner and slowly getting back up on his haunches. So a break in the action as we watch this come off the side of the helmet and the face shield. Probably saved him.
Well, they're going to get some relief finally at the center ice position. I think Bozak will be back Thursday. He's coming off the IR. And Kadri, of course, we know he will be back Thursday. And here's Bozak, who has practiced with the team now after having that hamstring issue and seems to be fine.
Well, the Leafs are 11-2 and they've scored 2 or more goals. The Islanders, they've needed to get to 3. They are 0-9-1 when they have failed to score 3 goals in a hockey game this season. And now we've got Matt Cartner and Fraser McLaren deciding that a dance is in order. Cartner throwing some bombs, and so is McLaren, both landing and both players standing up there, taking it and throwing it. And now Cartner is able to wrestle McLaren to the ice. Cartner has been a busy man as far as Leafs are concerned, but it's usually with Colton Orr. They have met 6 times over their career.
And we know that Cartner's got that bomb, obviously. So does Colton. And he got a couple of haymakers off there, and McLaren, and pretty good stand-up fight by the 2 of them.
So Cartner in the penalty box, Fraser McLaren in the penalty box. The Leafs among the league leaders in fights. And Fraser McLaren will go to the boxes.
And he did it. You can see him there cheering on the team, trying to get some momentum for his group.
So Kartner is in the penalty box. So is McLaren. Kartner, a native of Winchester, Ontario, former Peterborough junior, as it's fired down into the Toronto zone. Played high to center. Paul Ranger no worse for the wear after taking that off the side of the helmet in the shield, as Riley gets it up on the wing. Missing a hit over there was Casey Cizikas, and it's back down into the Toronto zone. Cizikas a bit of a hunt there for a hit, as it's played back down into the Toronto end. Back of the goal, Matt Martin. And the pass comes ahead to Kessel. Kessel with a nifty little play. Peter Hammond brings it, or Holland rather, brings it in over the line into the corner. Centering pass. Here's Kessel centering again. And Van Riemsdyk on the doorstep couldn't get it in past the goaltender. Phaneuf up ahead for Van Riemsdyk. He gains the zone. Kessel with him. Here's Van Riemsdyk in along the board. Still with it. Backhands it high. Bouncing puck. Kessel! And finding it at the last second was Poulin to hold on.
Van Riemsdyk again showing some great confidence here. Finds the line. He's having one of those nights where Kessel and Van Riemsdyk are starting to do some serious damage as he just throws it towards the net. What a play. Wow.
Hey, Joe, the stick handling, we'll see JVR pretty much every night prior to a game at 5:30 back and forth. You can set your clock to it.
Yeah, you got a tennis ball, or not a tennis ball, but a golf ball. Here's a chance in front for Coleman, who pulled the trigger the other night to get his first goal of the season against the Sabres. Almost had a good chance there.
Coleman's having a little better game again tonight for me. Good work here, forcing a turnover. And it creates a good chance to score. Jay McClement was right on the doorstep.
Getting shots on goal is the key for him. He scored a goal the other night, but only on his fourth shot on goal of the season. Here's Tavares coming to center with a right wing pass for Opozo. Ridden into the corner boards there by Gunnarsson. It comes back into the slot. A long wrist shot is blocked in front of the net. Gunnarsson gets it freed up, and it's pushed ahead on the left wing side and launched on a bounce wide of the goal, and it's going to turn into an icing. Mason Raymond was about 2 feet from the red line when he launched that alley-oop into the corner, and it's going to be brought all the way back into the Toronto zone.
And some good work blocking shots in front. And Gunnarsson, who leads the team, has been excellent in that all season long. He's underrated that way, as he does a nice job in getting into the shooting lane.
And Carl Gunnarsson has had over 50 blocked shots. He had 51 coming into the game. And he has done a nice job here tonight, blocking 2. And it is a stat that coaches demand these days. And goaltenders enjoy it as well. Lupul bringing it out of his own zone with a pass on the left wing. Here's Gardner weaving in on the wall, goes around back of the net. Now with all kinds of traffic in front, the shot is blocked. Clarkson trying to drag it around back of the net. Clarkson curling out with it now. Clarkson gets it back to the blue line to Gardner. Shot, deflects in front, back to Gardner again. He twists and turns with it again. Now he sends it into David Clarkson. Clarkson around the boards. He's got Smith with him. Clarkson against the wall now with Matt Donovan. Clarkson is able to come out with it. Back to the point. Franson to Gardner to Franson. Weak shot goes wide of the goal. Smith couldn't get to it. And it'll be pushed out into the center ice area. Frans Nielsen across the line. Broken up by Toronto, and a penalty is coming here for high sticking against the Maple Leafs.
Intact Insurance is proud to sponsor the Toronto Maple Leafs and all the fans who keep believing. Intact Insurance, you're back.
Well, Lupul's going to get it as Frans Nielsen skates through the neutral zone here, and a little bit of backside pressure as the stick rides up the stick. Lupul's stick rides up the stick of Nielsen's and catches him in the mouth.
17-18. Time of the high sticking penalty. And a great start for Nielsen. And here's the power play for the Islanders, which is 17th in the NHL. Back to the blue line, McDonald. Off on the wing, it comes to the near side. Back to McDonald again. A shot deflects just wide. And maybe Bernier got just a piece of that as it was heading towards the post. Bouchard at the blue line. Bouchard with a cross-ice pass. And Tavares has to get rid of the stick as it shattered right at the... And now he inadvertently gets in the way of what might have been an Andrew McDonald keep-in and turns it out at center ice. Ranger off the boards and down the ice. Changes for Toronto's defense. McDonald. The Nova Scotia native gets it to the blue line, in on the right wing side, back into the slot of Pozo, closing in, and standing upright and making the save on the pad was Bernier. Cool, calm, and collected.
You call him the hybrid goalie. You know, sometimes he'd be in the butterfly there. That time he just stands right up and lets the puck hit his left pad.
Pozo with it again. Back to Bouchard to Tavares. Tavares back to the point to Travis Hamonic. Stretching it out to Bouchard. Now to Tavares. Tavares, a shot. Down is Bernier. Off the blocking glove and into the catching glove. And it is going to be 43 seconds left in the penalty when they face it off in the circle to his right.
And we talked about the Leaf defense, and look at how they box out here. Is Bernier there? Right in perfect position. He just moves into an area where Nielsen does not get right in front of him. And here's the earlier save where he's up and across on a redirect from the point.
Draw one by Toronto. Pushed up on the wing. Jay McClement skates to some open ice. He'll get the center, and he's just going to launch it in, and he'll go in and try to just launch things with Hamonic a little bit. Hamonic is able to push it away from him, though. Brought out now by Matt Donovan. He drops it back for Nielsen. Nielsen can't get across the line, and Donovan has to go back with less than a minute to go in the period. 2-0 Toronto. They've added a power play goal in the second period. Long shoot-in goes wide and around back of the net. Played up on the wing, cut off by Frans Nielsen. Back to the point to Hamonic. Back to Nielsen. Nielsen looking for Clutterbuck in front of the net. Out of the box is Lupul. Far side and a shot. Pad save. Rebound comes back to the blue line. In front of the net. Still free. Glove pass, says referee Wes McCauley. And so there'll be a face-off outside the blue line with 31.3 seconds to go in the period.
Bernier with another save from the point. Nice and square out. Sees it all the way and directs the puck back out a little bit more than he probably would have liked. But the Maple Leafs in this period, other than the power play with the Islanders, they've had the puck much more in terms of their puck possession. And they've spent a great deal amount of this second period in the New York Islanders zone. Much different than the second half of period number one.
Bernier has stopped 416 of the 440 shots he has had this year. A race for the puck now with a chance now for Cizikas in on goal! Scores! Cody Franson got stripped at the blue line, and Casey Cizikas takes it the rest of the way, and the Toronto native and former Mississauga St. Mike's Major has made it a 2-1 hockey game.
The tough thing to do in the last minute of the period is Franson here, who's been pressing to score, tries to get the puck through, and Cizikas here just takes off. And a pretty little move, the old move the goalie, go 5-hole, it's perfect. And there's Franson, that should have gone just back right into the corner in the last minute of the period. He doesn't, he elects to try to get the puck through and pays for it. And the Islanders now have some life going into the second period intermission.
Third goal of the season for Casey Cizikas as it's knocked down into the Toronto zone. And moments after killing off the penalty. And here's the horn that brings an end to the period. An unassisted goal from Casey Cizikas, the 22-year-old. It's 2-1 at the end of 40 minutes. Let's go to Derek.
Love to hate when there's no one left to listen. No one left to listen. Right now we're taking control. Tired of waiting. Tired of waiting for something new. Right now we're taking control. Tired of
Welcome back to the Air Canada Centre. The Leafs carry a 2-1 lead into the third period. Kessel adding a power play goal in the second. Casey Cizikas now has a 3-game scoring streak going. The youngster from Toronto making it 2-1 late in the period. Let's go downstairs to Damien Cox along with Scott Morrison.
Thanks, Joe. Spoke with Leafs assistant coach Scott Gordon a few minutes ago, and the coaches have been spending a lot of time working with the defense, trying to get pucks through on goal. They've seen a drop-off, a dramatic drop-off on the offense from the defense. Well, it worked well on Saturday night as we saw Cody Franson getting a couple of pucks through for James Van Riemsdyk goals, but then in the last few seconds, a bad decision. Probably should have got the puck into the corner. The shot gets blocked. Normally, he has a wrist shot that he gets through quicker than the slapper, and Jake Gardiner not giving the support. Overall, the coach is pleased that they haven't given up a ton of good scoring chances.
Nice moment for the graduate of Westmall Lightning, too. You know, interesting in that period, it was a chance for Peter Holland to continue to try to make a name for himself with the Leafs. He has a very small window right now with Nazem Kadri coming back from suspension in the game and Tyler Bozak. Well, here's a nice move down the right side for a chance, and he really started to fit in with James Van Riemsdyk and Phil Kessel in that period. And I thought a couple times you see him dish the puck and head straight for the net. He's got an ability to just not necessarily knock anybody over, but go to the net and create chances for himself and others. And I think he's going to fit in, but can he stay on that number one line for very much longer? He's really got to make something happen to do that.
And guess what? The coaches want more shots. Joe?
No kidding. Well, somebody who has kind of picked up on the shot department has been Nikolai Kulemin. As we mentioned, he only had 4 when he scored his first goal of the season the other night. He's had 3 in the game here this evening. And Peter Regan leads the Islanders also with 3 shots. Phil Kessel has had 3 as well, including his goal, 11th of the season from Lupul, and Phaneuf on the power play that made it 2-0. So we're ready for the third. Glad you're along with us right here on Sportsnet as McClement along with Raymond and Kulemin start against the Tavares line. Bouchard playing it back into his own zone. Now up on the wing it goes for Pierre-Marc Bouchard across the line. Shot deflects into the corner by Bernier. Laid down in along the boards now for Opozo. Tied up by McClement. McClement comes away with the loose puck. Playing it off the boards for Mason Raymond. Raymond to center along with Kulemin. It'll go off the boards but not in deep till Kulemin reaches it. And now Tavares is able to play it out at center. Kulemin dropping it back but right onto the stick of Bouchard. Bouchard unable to take advantage of the, and now a trip as Carl Gunnarsson had his legs lifted right out from underneath him. Opozo gains the zone because of it and gets down into the corner. Tavares back to the net. Centering pass comes out in front. Tavares trying to get a shot away and he took too much time to get rid of it. Hamonic, he shot right away. He probably had a great scoring chance. Instead, tried to make the angle a little bit more to his liking and gave away the scoring opportunity. Kulemin will play it in and go to the bench. Brought forward by Andrew McDonald. Played ahead and dumped down into the Toronto zone. Played by Gardiner back up, and a long lead pass for Clarkson didn't work. Hamonic. A rink-wide pass. Fired down into the Toronto zone. Smith reverses the puck for Gardiner. Gardiner up ahead for Lupul. Lupul stops. Dishes it off for Cody Franson, and he'll pepper it down into the Islander zone. Clarkson had it go off his skate back of the net. And Aaron Ness turns down for the Islanders with a lead pass at center. Trying to split the defense. It was there by Nelson as it goes around back of the net. And then trying to make a quick move from behind the net. Didn't work. Van Riemsdyk brings it back to Toronto on a sharp angle shot off the shoulder Now Poulin goes up into the screen and out of play.
Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Leafs.
Boy, Van Riemsdyk, he's had some giddy up tonight, hasn't he? And he goes through the neutral zone again, just takes it from his own zone. And we've seen him a couple of times here as he just gets it by Clutterbuck with that long reach. And then actually it looked like it hit the goalie right in the head from that bad angle as he almost caught him.
Leafs are 7-1-1 when leading into the third period. Islanders are 2-6-1 when trailing. They come from behind to win 2 of their 8 games. Here's Van Riemsdyk trying to force it in a little closer, and Peter Holland couldn't get his stick on it. Ranger off the boards with right to Clutterbuck. Clutterbuck with a backhand, and coolly and calmly it is handled by Bernier to bring a face-off in the Toronto zone.
Rangers had a bit of a tough night, there's no question, and on this last play he gives it away again, and he gave it to a guy that's not a natural scorer, and that's the good news for the Maple Leafs as Clutterbuck just throws it towards the net on his backhand. Once again, Bernier, perfect position, no rebound as Nielsen was looking for one to the side of the net.
Matt Martin is out there. He has played about 6 minutes, has 3 hits, but in the 2011-12 season he had 374 hits. Next in line was Dustin Brown, 81 less.
And he leads the league again this year with 98, Joe.
It's the Island.
Yeah. Well, there was a good hit by Colton Orr, and Bolton and Orr will renew hostilities here. Now the linesman moved in right away. I don't know if they felt that Orr had got tagged early in the fight or not.
You're going to see more of this if the linesmen have opportunities, if they feel that it's a lopsided situation. And the only reason I say this is because Bolton he ended up jumping Orr here. The stick is stuck. And he finally gets the stick. And then he says, well, now I might as well fight. And then the two of them engage and away they go. And
you can't do that to my stick. And so fighting majors to both of those. And Orr caught Ness coming across the blue line.
Yeah, and that's what started it, Joe, absolutely. Yeah. And there's a good stand-up hit here. Nothing wrong with that hit at all. And then, well, they both got the gloves off at the same time, as Orr did see him coming, but he didn't just get off the mark. And then the linesman jumped in.
That is the 7th time those two have met in the pugilistic efforts in this league.
And there are the first and second place players in terms of hitting in the National Hockey League.
It'd be interesting to know how many of those hits are at home and how many are on the road. It is a subjective thing, and I understand
you talk about analytics too, Joe, and there's a great debate now about how it's used in hockey. We had a game in here, or on the road rather, in the first period last week when they said there were no giveaways, and we counted like 4. So you have to be a little careful about garbage in, garbage out when you talk about analytics, because some buildings are better than others at counting this sort of stuff.
Well, I think sometimes on the island, if you sneeze, you get a hit. And not to say that they aren't physical players, because they obviously are, but sometimes you wonder. Now here's Kuhlman, one-handing it ahead. That hit McClement in the skate, brought back now by Matt Cartner. Broken up at the Toronto defense, but it is brought in over the line now. Here's a chance, and the wrist shot went wide of the net. Tavares had to go right off a stick. Played in along for Opozo. Back into the slot, looking for it now is Ness as he takes it right, he centers. And it went off the stick of Bernier. Brought back and launched in. That went off Cartner. McClement to the net. Scores! Mason Raymond! Jay McClement makes the play, but it's Mason Raymond there that tidy up the garbage and fired into the dumpster.
Well, it starts with speed again by the Maple Leafs in their own zone. And it's Mason Raymond who just absolutely takes off. And a funny little play. Well, it hits Kartner and then ends up in the Clement stick, and he just takes it to the net. And hail the Gangzell here as they all end up going right towards the net. What a funny looking play this is. And here comes McLennan. He'll take it to the net. And Poulin can't hold his ground, and Raymond just keeps coming and gets the rebound.
8th of the season for Mason Raymond. What a signing he has turned out to be for Dave Nonis. Saturday night, he scored an enormous goal on the power play late in the game to solidify a 4-2 win. Oh, a chance there for McDonald, and he didn't touch it. Now it's blocked in front of the goal. Batted ahead to the line. Lupul gets it out, plays it off the glass to the blue line. Jay McClement's going to get the lone assist. Frans Nielsen dropping Bailey, trying to take it to the net, he did! And a blocking arm save, and a good one made there by Bernier. Laid in over the line for Clarkson. He rampages over Matt Donovan, sending him cartwheeling into the corner. Here's Clarkson fighting for possession as well. He comes out with it, can't get a shot, and then when he tried to get it back to the blue line, it was blocked. Sent back in on the backhand, though, by Cody Franson. Here's Smith into the slot. Shot knocked down by Poulin, and the loose puck goes back to the goal line, and now the Islanders trying to move it up. Clarkson gets another hit in. Gardner off the boards as Lupul was hit from behind, and the puck goes down into the Islander zone. Brought out now by Peter Regan. To the line and in for Clutterbuck. That goes wide of the net. Regan into the far corner. Trying to dish it free is Brock Nelson. And Morgan Riley plays it up the boards, but it's cut off again by Regan. Back to the net. Played around on the boards by Holland. Leafs unable to come away with it. Regan with it in the corner again against Ranger. Ranger down on a knee. That's drawn a crowd, and the puck is brought free. Nelson back to the goal. Good play there by Morgan Riley to tie him up. But Clutterbuck has helped out to get it back to the net. Holland off the boards, not out. Rattled wide of the goal by Travis Hamonic. Down the boards, Kessel can't get to it. Played back to the net now for Clutterbuck. Clutterbuck trying to come out in front. Down is Bernier. And as it comes up, and now Ranger giving Clutterbuck a cuff in the back of the head. And that may bring about the only penalty. Ranger will go to the box.
And right coming up there with an extra shot. And that's why he's in the box. Clarkson had a real good shift moments ago. Runs over the Islander player, goes to the net, and he hunts down the puck also, which creates a chance to score after this. Let's have a look at this goal. McClement again takes it to the net. And then there is Raymond, Johnny on the spot, top in the rebound.
So the second power play of the game for New York. Islanders now along the boards for Nielsen. Nielsen tied up, and the puck comes free and is quickly played down the ice by the Maple Leafs' Jared Smithson. Slowly brought to center by McDonald. He hits the line. Twisting and turning into the slot for Opozo. Trying to get it through there as Nelson was heading for the front of the net. Now it's back to the blue line, and trying to keep it in was McDonald, but he swept it instead to center ice. Opozo can't get free, and it's quickly shot down the ice by Kuhlman. Off the stick, though, and into the crowd, actually. And it'll be brought back into the Toronto zone.
Get an oil change by December 15th and get a free gift. Michelin Hybrid Wiper Blades. Get your coupon at MrLube.com.
Jay McClement on the bench. Leafs killing a penalty. You don't see that photo very often. Right back down into the Toronto zone. Back to the blue line, Hamonic. To the side of the goal, now to Bailey at the half boards, back to Hamonic. Hamonic being chased there as the shot just deflected by the rebound. Oh, what a save that was by Bernier. He got over there with the left pad, and then Gunnarsson helped him out. Back along the boards now for Bailey. Bailey twisting and turning back to Hamonic. Here comes the shot. Blocked. Rebound. Onto the stick of Franson, and down the ice it goes. What a save that was from Bernier's left pad. We'll get a look at that, I'm sure, as the Islanders bring it right back. 28 seconds in the penalty. Off the glass and into the zone it goes. Gardner overskated it. Hamonic has it back at the point. Over on the far side, Matt Donovan a shot, and that deflected wide. Near side for Bouchard. Played into the corner. Intercepted. Is that a high stick? No, says the referee. Far side again now for Donovan. Shot, blocked, rebound, cleared, still free. Where's the puck? Phaneuf couldn't get it out. Another shot goes wide. Gardner stumbles but is able to get to it. Rangers out of the box, and the Leafs get it to center ice. Matt Donovan backpedaling in his own zone. Both teams are changing. An all alley-oop pass there for Casey Cizikas, who tried to center. Two Leafs overskate it. Morgan Riley goes back to fetch it. Tried to play it out. That was blocked. And then sent down into the Toronto zone. Bernier out of the goal, but Riley is there, and a big pass is just out of the reach of Clarkson. And it's going to go in on goal and smothered by the Islander netminder. 11:28 to go in the third. The Leafs back in front by a pair.
The margin of error in the National Hockey League is so small, and as a goalie, even with a handoff with your defenseman, if you have a little bit of a miscue, like the Leafs do here, Bernier with a great track, and then here's the miscue. Well, often it gets you in trouble as a goalie. You think, uh-oh, you got to be ready, because normally that comes back to haunt you, and that's exactly what happens here. And who bails himself out? Bernier. What a left pad save. And then during the commercial break, Gunnarsson, who was the player that was involved in the handoff with Bernier, talk about it. They talk about it together, and a bit of a smile saying, okay, maybe I thought you were going to go hard around there. I didn't have much time to do much with that one, bud. And great communication between the goaltender and defense during the commercial break.
It's my pet peeve in minor hockey, Millsy, not talking. You can hear little kids, no matter what age, in a dressing room. You can't shut them up half the time when they're talking to one another in the dressing room, as we're going to get a penalty here to the Islanders. And yet on the ice it helps so much. You don't have to be able to skate, stick handle, shoot, or nothing. Just open your yap, and it helps. Penalty coming here to the Islanders. And is it Colin McDonald? I believe it is. Yep.
Coach doesn't like it much. And it was a play just to the right of the goalie. And they're going to call it a hook, I believe, as he seemed to get tied up with the stick.
And is this, it's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, I believe. And whether he said something or what, but it has warranted a penalty. Second power play opportunity for Toronto. They had one shot on their first power play opportunity, and Phil Kessel put it in behind Kevin Poulin. Leafs with the second opportunity here is Phaneuf with a wrist shot. Doesn't get through. Gets it back again. Near side for Kessel. Snap shot. Top shelf looking, and it went wide. Right around the boards, and it comes to Kessel at the near half boards. Back into Van Riemsdyk. Back for Kessel. Bodied there by Peter Regan. Kessel gets it back to Phaneuf at the blue line. Phaneuf walks the line. Back to Kessel. Off on the wing it goes for Franson, who plays it back to the net. Van Riemsdyk trying to free it up. Hamonic was able to steal it. Cleared to the line, but not out. Here's Kessel now with some room. Stepping in. Franson had it too far for him to handle. Franson back to the point to Phaneuf. Now to Kessel. Kessel stepping in. Shot off the post wide. Kessel with it, or Lupul with it now. Lupul works back to the blue line. Phaneuf walks the line. Looks for Franson. Franson looking for Van Riemsdyk to pass in front. And it was cleared just in time as Lupul was teeing that up. They've called the penalty on McDonald for shooting a stick to his teammate.
There you go.
So
I didn't catch it, Joe. We looked for it in the replay, and we couldn't find it in the truck either.
Now down into the corner, it comes around back to the Toronto goal. Bernier slowed that up, but the Islanders are going to get to it quickly. Back to the point. Partner shot right on. Blocked there, and now here's a loose puck that Phaneuf has to take the safety and start things out again. Phaneuf ahead for Smith. To Raymond. Back to Trevor Smith. Smith got the puck free. Now Raymond trying to work the boards. Double teamed in there with Carter as it comes free. Smith trying to center. He does! Shooting! And the block made by Poulin. The kid almost had a goal. He got another try at it! And it went just wide. Clarkson back to the goal. Clarkson with a puck that goes up and into the screen. Morgan Riley knocking on the door.
Well, McDonald's saying to Martin, if I'm going to pass you the stick and get a penalty for it, would you at least pick it up and not let it go between your legs? Here is the penalty. We found it finally. There is the 2 minute. You can't do that. And watch where the stick goes afterwards. Here you go. I'm going to get 2 minutes for this. But where the heck's right between the legs? You never did get the stick.
That passing the stick is actually a Summer Olympic event.
Didn't go so well.
No, it didn't. Hey, how many relay teams have dropped the baton and got themselves out of a medal? Here's Carl Gunnarsson with a deflection in front off Raymond that went wide. 8:40 to play in the third period. Kuhlman able to wrap it in along for Raymond. Raymond stops. It comes back to the blue line to Carl Gunnarsson. His shot went off the stick and went wide. Here's McClement after it again in the corner. Jay McClement works the boards efficiently. Now had his knocked off his stick by a falling player, and a pretty good play by Matt Donovan. And it's played out into the center ice area, and the Leafs will have to go back for it. Kuhlman loses it. Oposo falls off the boards high. Volleyball back, and then taken to the line and pushed into the center ice area. Raymond across the blue line and has it knocked into the corner. He's going to peel back into a defensive posture as it's brought out now by McDonald. A long bullet went wide of the net. Sharp angle shot, and Bernier was hugging the post. Now coming out in front of the net. A pass in front for Bailey, and he didn't get the chance. Puck is still free though, and the shot went wide of the net this time by Bailey and will come to center ice.
This is where Leafs have done a good job all year. When they get into trouble, they collapse very well, and it's difficult for the opposition to get pucks through, even get the handle on the puck in scoring positions.
Now here's a chance for Colin McDonald, and a sharp angle shot went wide, and the Leafs are trying to break it out with Clarkson pushing it to center and wrapping it down into Islander territory. Played by Poulin up onto the wing. Franz Nielsen loses it. Center. Clarkson! Holy mackerel! It is over!
Well, he doesn't want to smile, but I know he'd love to. There's a little grin finally. They're more relief than anything else. Now what a shot too. I mean, great play by Luke, who's had a heck of a game. Smith gets it back. He's had another terrific game. And tap, 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 off the stick, top shelf. And a terrific shot by David Clarkson.
Those shoulders feel a lot better without that monkey on them. And David Clarkson, the Mimico native, has made it 4-1. Roll to the side of the net. It rolls right through the goal crease. Now a shot goes high and off the glass. Bounce to the line. Peter Regan to the far side. Centering pass onto the stick of Van Riemsdyk. Kessel's away. Kessel and across the line. Drops for Van Riemsdyk in front for Riley. Oh, and he had a chance to shoot it, but it was knocked off his stick.
He's next.
I think he's close. Now to the right wing side for Clutterbuck. Clutterbuck centers, and it's taken to safety there by Peter Holland, who plays it around back of the net. Morgan Riley. Fading back to the goal. Bolton forces the issue, and now it is Fraser McLaren sending it into the zone. Orr gets a piece of his man. Smithson around the boards in the far corner with 5:57 to play in the third. Pass intercepted by Jake Gardner. He quickly gets it back to Cody Franson, and he quickly gets it back into the Islander zone. Bolton ices the puck. The faceoff will be back into the Islander zone. Anything for Hockey is brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Leafs.
Well, Mason Raymond's come up with a couple of big goals on Saturday night. A huge goal in a close game. What a shot that was. And then tonight, a third goal in this game to give the Leafs the cushion again in the third period.
And speaking of our good friends at Molson's, we'll be out there tomorrow along with some of the Leaf front office brass for a kind of a town hall meeting that Mary Boynton and others out there are organizing, which is always a lot of fun. McDonald around back to the net.
Especially when there's refreshments involved, Joseph.
It is a brewery.
The kind you like?
Why wouldn't I?
Exactly.
2 third period goals have made it 4-1 Toronto over the Islanders. Ken and Ivanka working on Connected. Let's find out what they have in store for us.
Hey, Joe, what's McLean going to think about this one? What does Kyprios have to say? Darren, Nick, and Doug, they're going to break it down.
And road to Rio, some exceptional matches, especially Cristiano Ronaldo.
Looking forward to the dynamic duo filling us all in on a busy night in the National Hockey League. And other goings-on in the world of sports on Connected following the game. Cartner gets it down into the Toronto zone. Bernier pushes it back along the boards. And it is fed out at center ice by Mason Raymond. One of the things that Bernier does so well, Milty, and I want to get your gist on this. A lot of goaltenders get the puck and shoot it as hard as they can around the glass. Ends up back at the point. Shot comes right back in on you as we take a look at the game summary and what's gone on. Bernier likes to just get it to the half boards or just into the corner. And we want to thank the folks at Brick who bring it to us. Nobody beats the Brick for furniture, mattresses, appliances, big screen TVs.
Yeah, out of the gate in a hurry. Of course, Clarkson with the big goal, and Bernier, who we're talking about, Joe. The good puck handlers now, Joe, ask their defensemen not to come behind the net.
Oh, a shot right off the wing, and there's Franz Nielsen, who makes it 4-2 with 4:46 to play.
And the Leafs try to go around the wall hard with this, and it doesn't get out of the zone. Carlisle not happy. There's the play off the face-off. And an early exit out of the zone here, and Franz Nielsen just gets all of it.
What a start he's had. That's his 10th goal of the season.
Yeah, and Lupul gets caught. I believe he's up on the half boards a little bit too high, and the Islanders cut it off right at the face-off dot, and then that great shot.
Now a giveaway by Carl Gunnarsson. Opposo taking it to the net. They jam away at it, and Bernier is able to find that in a comfortable 4-1 lead. Almost got down to white knuckle time in a hurry.
And a giveaway. And the Leafs here back on their heels a little bit. They've been in control of this game, and look, Gunnarsson just overskates it. Bernier again solid down on his knees and then battles to make sure that the rebound doesn't go past him. It's one thing we haven't talked about Bernier. He's got a great battle. When there's loose pucks available, he always seems to find a way to find the pucks, battle through it, and make the second save.
Played back in front of the net. Phaneuf tipped it to the line. Bouchard sends it back in. And it is Damon Clement getting it up on the wing, and now here's Smithson getting it out into the center ice area. On the Clarkson goal, it now reads Smith and Lupul. Down on the play, Phaneuf taking his man and no penalty. Up on the left wing side for Carl Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson drops it back, and it is chopped by Raymond deep into the zone. So Joffrey Lupul has a 3-point night. Now here's Lupo back in over the line. Dropping in the shot by Clarkson, ramps off a stick and up into the screen, out of play.
We're going to say Lupo's had a great night, as you mentioned, Joe, but the goalies that can handle a puck now in the National Hockey League, it's been going on for a while to answer your question. They don't ask the defenseman to come behind the net and get it. They ask the defenseman to just dump away to the corners. And the goaltender has an option to go to his backhand D to D or goalie to D. He can go goalie to D to his forehand, and if that's not a play, then he can wire it around to the half boards to the winger. Bernier's very good at it. He has great hands.
Morgan Riley's shot doesn't make it through. Thomas Hickey sends it around on the boards. Unable to trap it was Ness. Now played by Clarkson along the boards. He has to go back after it. Lupo gets it back to the blue line. Wrist shot coming, and that was quickly knocked ahead by Thomas Hickey. Back across the line of the Islanders with a pass into the slot. Oh, and the back checking there of Clarkson stood him in good stead to knock that into the corner. Back to the other side it comes, and a shot knocked down. Clarkson has the rebound as goaltender Bernier bowled over. David Clarkson coming to the line. Can't get it into the zone. Now the Leafs will bat it in over the line, but their change will start now. A pass intercepted there by the quick stick of Trevor Smith, but he couldn't get it ahead. Smith will try it again, this time to Van Riemsdyk. It's a 2-on-1. Kessel to the net. Scores! What a bullet! That gets to the back of the net in a hurry.
Unbelievable. A horrible giveaway by Hickey in the neutral zone. The Islanders are on a change, if you can imagine, at this point. And you can see them coming off the bench way too late. And there's that shot. Watch Kessel, the flex in the stick. He uses an extremely flexy stick. And when he does that, and the release, he just leans on it and uses the opposite stick to his advantage. And you'll watch the bend in his stick. Watch this. Leans on it, gets his hand way down. Look at the bend. Wow. And then that just whips the puck off the stick and threw into the net.
Second goal of the night, 21st point of the season, and Phil Kessel has restored the 3-goal lead here for Toronto.
And that was an excellent replay by our truck to show you just how he uses that composite stick to his advantage. The first player I ever saw who did that when they first came out was Brett Hall.
Tavares loses it, and it's cleared to center ice.
And he said to me, Joe, in practice, watch these sticks. I actually hit the puck behind the puck and let the stick use it to my advantage to whip through and shoot the puck. And boy, can he do that, as we all know.
So it's out into the center ice area. And Peter Holland's got to be saying, hey, this is an easy job. I'm +4 in the last 2 games. Van Riemsdyk's got 2, now Kessel's got 2. Pass into the slot, backhand stop by Bernier. Back of the goal goes Nelson. Riley chasing after Nelson. Minute and a half to go in the third, and a shot is smothered by the Leaf netminder and held. Kessel and Van Riemsdyk and Smith. So Peter Holland hadn't managed to get on the ice just yet.
And let's have a look at this release. I mean, and here comes the second one. Van Riemsdyk finds Kessel and Fly in motion. No backswing. I mean, he just leans on the stick, throws his hand a little bit lower on the shaft, and just whips the puck through.
It's a milestone event, too. His 400th career point comes on that goal. Gardner. He gets it up at center. Van Riemsdyk to Kessel looking for a third. Doesn't shoot it. Takes it into the corner, though. Has a man in front looking for Holland. Couldn't get it to him. Now he's around back of the net, but Holland comes out with it. Holland snaps it back to Jake Gardner, and the shot is deflected in front of the net by Van Riemsdyk. Ranger plays it back to the goal. Laid in along the boards. Holland trying to get to it and does. Kessel tried to play it back to the blue line. That didn't work. And out at center ice now comes Peter Regan. Regan trying to get around Jake Gardner, and Gardner was able to ride him wide of the net. Puck's back to the goal as it comes in front, and a sharp angle shot is sent over top of the goal, and it's going to carry him right past Thomas Hickey and down into Islander territory. The Leafs will win the first 2 games of this 5-game homestand, and the Nashville Predators arrive on Thursday night. Colton Orr, along with Fraser McLaren, wrapped around the tip, comes in front! Fed wide of the goal by Jared Smithson. Loose puck in front of the net, and it's going to be brought out by Matt Martin. Martin working it over the line, dropping it back. Cizikas' shot, and it's taken to safety back to the goal and played by Bernier to tick off the final seconds. And Orr and Martin, and now some gloves have come off. Cartner is in there as well, and Bolton is in there, but I don't think anything more is going to come of this, as it's after the horn, and that is a no-no. So the Maple Leafs are going to win this one by a score of 5-2. The modus operandi, again, outshot, take advantage of some power plays and some opportunistic scoring.
And just their ability to score. And Phil Kessel again tonight gets a couple of opportunities, and they're in the back of the net. Van Riemsdyk with a huge game. The big boys for the Maple Leafs were great tonight, and once again anchored by fine goaltending by Jonathan Bernier.
Here's a look at the Molson Cup 3 Stars, brought to you by Molson Canadian Die-Hard fan, proud partner of the Leafs. Joffrey Lupul with 3 assists, James Van Riemsdyk a goal and 2 shots, and the 400th career point for Phil Kessel on his 2nd goal of the night. The Leafs will get set to host Nashville on Thursday, having won the first 2 of their 5-game homestand. Stay tuned.